You go shopping, you see this, you see that, and you have to have it all. So you pick and choose and you fill your cart. Then you get home and you think to yourself, I didn't mean to spend that much.
And suddenly you're wondering if you got duped into buying more. Well, you know what? How about we have a discussion this afternoon with Dr. Rob Richardson, an assistant professor at marketing at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. How are you, Dr. Richardson?
Doing great today. Glad to be here.
Thanks for talking to us. So, are there really tactics and techniques that some of these big, huge stores use to convince us to buy more than we intended?
Yes, there are. There are unethical marketers. We all have perceptions, and we all have bias in our perceptions, the way we see things like prices or packages, and that may affect unconsciously what we think about the product. So yes, an unethical marketer could use some of those tactics to persuade us to purchase a product.
Now you just mentioned pricing. Clever pricing can be a factor?
The way we perceive numbers and can influence the way we think of the price. One of the things we want consumers to always do is not just look at the price itself, but actually the unit price. How much are you getting, say you're buying shampoo per ounce? In that way, you can see sometimes a larger package may not be as cheap per ounce as you think it is, or sometimes it may be an odd-shaped bottle and you're not getting as much per ounce as you think you would, and your dollars are going a little bit less far.
I've noticed one of the sales techniques lately seems to be, oh, but wait, right now you can buy two. Just pay a separate fee. We're actually paying for two, right?
Right. All pricing is thought out. So it is purposeful when they decide how they're going to price or what offer they're going to offer next, and to see what works the best. So as a consumer, it's good to be aware of these and to be smart about it when you're purchasing.
Wow. Okay. So another thing that I guess marketers use is the color of the packaging. That can affect our decision on what we buy or whether or not we buy something?
Actually, my co-author, James Beebe, and I wrote a paper about this. We were looking at healthy foods, and we found that if you have a package that is muted in color, looks kind of natural and more muted than not colorful, people perceive that to be a healthier product, even though if you look at the nutrition labels on the back, it's not as healthy as you think it is.
Oh, how about that? What about the background music in stores? Because some of the big stores, I'm hearing this music in the background. What is that? Are they trying to affect me with that?
I would put music specifically, I don't know so much about, but atmospherics, absolutely. You want a store that is pleasant to shop in. So if it's a pleasant place to shop, the music is pleasing, you're more likely to linger, to look at more products, and you might discover something that you really want to buy. So atmospherics is really important both in stores and even website retailers. They're looking at how do we best design our website to make it really user-friendly so people are more likely to make a purchase.
Yeah. Now, one that I feel like I figured out is the fact that some stores, some of these bigger stores, they put the essentials in the back of the store so that you have to go through things that you might not necessarily need to get to the essentials.
You're right. But one of the things is shopping is not an unpleasant experience for most people. We enjoy shopping. And so there's kind of an act for a consumer of discovering something new. So yes, it is in there. There is kind of you think about the path people will take through your store, but it's an opportunity for them, if you think of it this way, to discover new items they might be interested in. It becomes unethical when you're trying to trick people into buying those, but putting something on the end of an aisle, what's called an end cap, to draw attention, isn't necessarily a bad thing for a lot of shoppers who love shopping for things on a deal.
What about all those little trinkets there at the checkout stand?
We call those point of purchase, and yes, they're small things you might forget, but ultimately it's things a lot of times people enjoy buying. But you're more likely to buy it when it's right there at the checkout counter, yes.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that, you know, we're talking about all these different tips and tricks, and you're pointing out that they're not necessarily bad. I mean, they're good. There are unethical ones, and then there's the ones that are just helping your shopping experience.
That's right. Good companies today don't want to trick customers. They actually don't want to just sell you something and laugh later and say, hi, we tricked that customer. They actually want the customer to keep coming back over and over again, to become loyal, to say good things on social media about it. And so relying on tricks in today's environment doesn't really meet the company's goals at all.
So what can we as shoppers do to kind of stay on track, to go in to get what we're intending to go in and get?
I would say one is just being aware that we have these biases in the way we perceive things that may affect us. I would shop at places with good return policies. So if you do find yourself buying something that you didn't mean to, that there's a fair and good return policy and it's easy to do. For big purchases, I would definitely look and see if you're spending a lot of money. Is there a trial period? How often can I return this? Can I try it out for a few days and return it? So the big purchases are really something you really need to look at as well. The other thing, like I said, is companies don't necessarily want a dissatisfied customer. Don't be afraid to go back to the company and say, hey, I'd like to return this, and I'd really see if we can get a more fair price than we can get. But just be aware that shopping can be fun, but we all have these biases that we're unaware of, and just look out for things like nutrition labels, unit pricing, and things like that can really help you understand what it is you're really paying for.
And I imagine if you're shopping local at some of our locally owned stores or little shops and everything, that's probably makes it a better experience as well.
I think so, because they're dependent on you as a customer, and they want to have that conversation with you.
UMES Professor of Marketing, Dr. Rob Richardson, thank you for talking to us this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well,